take charge!
HMS Trenchant is a £1 billion nuclear submarine.
I want an immediate report from the periscope.
Aye, sir.
Known as a hunter-killer.
That's a new one now, right?
Right, guys, let's get ourselves in. Whoa, back!
This top-secret boat is designed to silently track enemy vessels.
Warships, submarines, anything that makes a noise in the ocean, we can hear.
And keep them out of British waters.
Possible danger, submarine contact.
But for her all-male crew, this is also home.
We're used to bumping into each other a lot. No privacy. Sexy.
For the very first time, our cameras have been given unprecedented access to Trenchant's 4-month mission.
I need some help over here!
As she protects the British Trident nuclear deterrent.
There is a threat unit out. We need to be ready immediately.
And faces the challenges of living life under the sea.
Can I get a roof on?
Definitely not.
There's a lot riding on this, but that's what I get paid for.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. HMS Trenchant is getting ready to leave port.
Morning, fellas. All right? Good. All right, gents. All set? Good. That's the right answer.
41-year-old Dave Burrell has been the captain of the submarine for nearly 2 years.
How's your training session? All right?
Yeah.
Command of a nuclear submarine is the thing that I joined the Navy to do. I think I'm a people person. I think that's really important. How doing, fellas? All right? Up to do, set of rounds, just walk around the boat, make sure everything's as it should be. Hello, Navs.
The captain's first stop is the control room to check in with his navigator.
Right, what's the plan?
Don't hit the rocks, kill the enemy.
Not driving the reactor against the rocks is... That's tactical level thought in your world, isn't it?
I think I'm generally happy with that.
OK, yeah, I'll take that.
Trenchant is the smallest of the Royal Navy's nuclear submarines and is home to a male crew of up to 130.
In there, that's where the reactor's controlled from, but unfortunately we're not allowed to film back there.
The top-secret nuclear reactor powers Trenchant's engines and means she can go for years without refuelling.
It's easy to see a submarine and see what is the most complicated machine on the planet, but fundamentally, it's a village under the water. So we're doing all right. This is the wardroom. Normally about 20 officers live, eat, work.
The wardroom is used by the most senior crew on board.
We've got some exciting work to do this afternoon by the look of things. In there is the junior mates recreation and dining space. Incredibly small space, about 60 of them. They'll all try and cram in there. Head into the galley, see what's for dinner. Right, what have we got today?
This evening we've got slow roast belly pork with a barbecue sauce.
Very nice.
And we've also got mint and chilli lamb stew.
See, that's tough. The beating heart of the submarine is the galley. The normal things that would keep a relatively young, healthy male happy, such as beer, exposure to the opposite sex, social media, they're not here. So how do we keep the boys happy? We keep them happy by giving them exceptional food.
Sunshine Squadron down in Devonport. Yeah, you're moving things down into the boat now.
Lieutenant Andy Pandian is loading the last of the crew's food supplies.
I think there's 15,000 rashers of bacon, so we are cooking 130 cooked breakfasts every day, 130 lunches, suppers and evening meals. For me, I was always going to join the armed forces. It's a whole service ethos. I like being part of something bigger than myself.
There's a few more loads coming down.
As the logistics officer, Andy must ensure there's enough food on board to last for 120 days. There's no chance to resupply once they're underwater.
I'm very much the least cutting edge of the ship's company, being the officer in charge of sausages. Catering for 130 people is you have 130 food critics on board and 130 Michelin star chefs. No matter what the chaps do, there's always going to be a critic.
The only way to load thousands of chicken breasts, a quarter ton of rice, 600 litres of milk and 10,000 tea bags is through the main hatch. By hand.
Milk coming down.
I love throwing food for store ship.
Come on there.
There's only 25 left.
There's no room on board for a dedicated food store. It's packed into cupboards and hidey holes all over the submarine.
So this is 3 deck on the Submarine. So around here you've got some living spaces. You've got my office here. Underneath us, you also have number 3 naval store, which is where I hold the bulk of my dry provisions. That is a lot of Weetabix. Cereal is surprisingly popular when we offer a cooked breakfast every day. I think that's pretty much everything loaded now.
So, gentlemen, Captain. Morning, fellas. Relax, thank you.
With the stores on board and minutes to go until departure, the senior officers are being briefed on the mission.
Okay, immediately our one-up has required us to do some high-intensity operations.
To go and locate enemy submarines in protection of the UK's independent nuclear deterrent.
Trenchant's mission is to defend Britain's Trident nuclear missiles. Trident is housed on a British submarine currently somewhere on patrol in the North Atlantic, over 1,000 miles away.
You need to be ready to hit the ground running today, okay?
The Trident submarine is the #1 thing that underpins the safety and security of the United Kingdom. It's our job to make sure that that deterrent isn't threatened.
That means absolute focus, absolute eyes out the front on safety, avoiding counter-detection and achieving the aim. Questions?
That's it. Carry on.
Command approved. Starboard side.
Shut and clip the main access hatch.
Engine room hatch shut and clipped! Roger, shut and clipped!
With the submarine sealed, preparations for departure are now at an end.
There's a certain sense of relief. The goodbyes are done. Boys are ready to go.
Stand by! 6 foot for aft!
Gents, that's the submarine now in fit condition to sail.
For the Lord, goal lines let go. Let go line!
HMS Trenchant's mission is now underway.
Outbound, 1-3, over.
The operations of British submarines are highly classified. Once she's left port, Trenchant's movements become a closely guarded secret.
It's a nice day for it, though.
You get mixed emotions. I'll definitely miss my family being back at home. And I'm out here and just getting ready for whatever's to come.
Trenchant must now travel to a secret location deep in the North Atlantic, where Trident is on patrol.
The most important task that the UK military does is the nuclear deterrent. It is now for us to go and make sure that we keep that deterrent safe. It will push every member of the ship's company to their limit.
The Royal Navy's hunter-killer submarine, HMS Trenchant, is heading north towards the Atlantic.
Are you good to go? Are we happy? Yeah?
Executive Officer Jimmy Dent is on his morning inspection rounds.
That is minging down there.
It's grim. Ooh, that's offensive.
It takes 2 hours to check every compartment on the submarine.
It's health and safety rounds as much as anything. We're not after catching people out, we're not opening lockers.
It's pretty ropey.
As Trenchant's second in command, it's Jim's job to maintain strict standards on board.
Hello, can you get your watch to start scrubbing out? I know we're doing rounds now. I've only got to 20 on bulk and it's rank. Like, underneath the step.
Submarine's a confined environment. You get ill quickly, and if someone gets ill, everyone gets ill. You ever had D&V on a boat? It's grim, isn't it? Diarrhea and vomiting. Yeah, there's always the sort of 2 stages. Is one where you're afraid you might die, and the second one you're afraid you won't. So it's grim.
It's really tight in here.
Very tight.
Each sleeping compartment is home to 60 men, but it's only the size of a single garage.
I could right clean me in the dust and pubes under there.
In bunk spaces, the lights don't always go on all that often, so me and the coxswain go around and make sure that the bunk spaces are fit and not disgusting, effectively. Yeah, they often will be.
The crew hot bunk, which means 2 men share 1 bed, swapping over every 6 hours.
It's fairly up here though. You get things like scabies breakouts, which is pretty grim, but it does happen. Ditch all the curtains, all the bedding. What's that? Face cream? I wouldn't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Body wash. Things have 2 uses, don't they?
Being an XO, I've once had it described as like having 130 stepchildren. You just want the best for them, and they just hate you.
Look how cross you are.
I'm very cross.
Why are you crossing?
When you're cramped up in a tube like this, it sort of heightens your emotions. You have to be much more mindful of how you act and speak the more high up you get, I think, because it has a bigger effect on people. I still don't get it right every time. Get out! Get out! You turds.
HMS Trenchant is still sailing on the surface because of the shallow waters around the British Isles.
Fellas, how we doing?
Yeah,
all right? Good. S.A. Clark is driving the boat and doing a great job of it, which is all the more remarkable considering he's never actually driven a car, but is fully qualified to drive a 5,000-ton nuclear submarine.
Trenchant is now about to enter the North Atlantic, and it's only here that the water is finally deep enough to attempt her first dive beneath the surface.
Captain Roger, planes, show me rise. Unlock emergency blows.
All main vents are shut. Check.
Check.
Yeah, happy.
Depth of water 150 metres. Officer watch, Roger.
After 6 months in port, there's only one way for the captain to test if Trenchant is still watertight.
Dive the submarine.
Dive the submarine, aye sir.
Full dive on the plane, but when you have control of the bubble.
Ship control, make the pipe. Diving now.
Diving now. Diving now.
Aftergates are beginning to watch.
Trenchant descends, slowly.
3.5 up, 8.5 metres. 12 metres.
Good.
Divers on, 16 metres.
All hatches from forward.
Now she's underwater. Every door and hatch must be checked for leaks.
Weapons embarkation hatch dry.
Fire escape tower, upper lid, dry. Cut tower, upper lid, dry. Main access hatch, dry.
Okay, we're happy.
Now fully and safely underwater, Trenchant can continue her journey towards Trident in secret.
Well, I'm front right.
You all right, mate?
Yeah, you.
Short back and sides?
Yes, please.
Okay.
20-year-old Joe Monty is one of the youngest members of the crew.
Short back and sides to be blended in, and a little bit taken off the top, not too much because I don't want to go bald, but you know, still enough there. I grew up in Middlesbrough, got to the end of school, done my GCSEs, didn't do as well as I expected. My brother-in-law was said, why don't you look at joining the Navy? And I thought, this is actually something I want to do.
The rules are quite stringent of what we're allowed and what we're not for haircuts. And as long as it's off the ears and off the collar, and it's no longer than 15 centimetres on top, you're pretty good.
Adapting to the submarine life is quite hard, so you've got to get into that routine of being in that cramped space and just getting on with it.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, happy. I don't like it. Can I get a refund?
Definitely not.
Roger. On course controller 280, no contact.
Joe is one of Trenchant's sonar operators. Now the submarine is underwater, it's one of the most important jobs on board.
Cancel down, track 46. On course, ground 193. Horrible noise.
The sonar is so sensitive it can pick up underwater sounds hundreds of miles away, from large marine life to enemy submarines.
Track 64, Ben, 148.
65, I'll paint it green straight away. That's a new one there, I reckon.
Joe's just picked up a muffled sound.
Don't audible shit.
An unidentified boat somewhere ahead of them.
Right, let's get some classifications.
Roger. Classify, track 64.
Standby classification.
He needs to identify it.
2 seconds.
And work out if it's a threat.
None of that's... I've got... Right, here we go. I want to call that a fishing vessel.
According to Navy rules, Trenchant must stay well away from a fishing boat.
Standby classification.
If the submarine got tangled in her nets, it could drag the boat and her crew underwater.
Yeah, I'm taking a fishing vessel. You happy? Happy? What's that?
A message is sent to the control room.
Okay, good. He says, yeah, happy with that. So, right.
Trenchant now gives the fishing boat a wide berth.
Oh, that's better. Suspending cuts on 5-2.
Cease reporting. Just 6-4, Roger.
Suspending 08. It's quite hard. I basically watch a screen while listening to what we have in the ocean. Some days you think, I can't do this anymore, so you've got to get into that routine of being in that cramped space and just getting on with it.
Custody in the switchboard room. Medical party, close up in the switchboard room.
One of the crew has been injured.
Can I get another first aider? Excuse me.
The incident is near the nuclear reactor, a classified part of the boat.
Custody.
Brief you on the casualty aft, please.
What he's done, he's put his right hand onto some steam pipe work for about 3 seconds. At the moment, we've got a 2 to 3 inch partial thickness burn to his right palm.
Right, okay.
It's already started to blister as well. We're monitoring his pain. We've given him some pain relief as it is.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to go and brief the captain, and I'll get the boat block up.
If the sailor needs hospital treatment, Trenchant will be forced to surface. And that means giving away her location. HMS Trenchant is sailing underwater 450 miles off the west coast of Scotland. But engineer Jack Bellamy has suffered serious burns and needs evacuating.
I was changing a lamp and I went to go reposition myself and touched a main steam pipework, burnt my hand, and now I've literally scrambled egg my hand and the skin's not looking good, so they put a bandage on it. It's still in pain now.
But getting him off the submarine isn't easy.
Good morning, HMS Trenchant. This is HSO speaking. This morning we'll be conducting a boat transfer to get one of our personnel off. That is all.
British warship HMS Sutherland has arrived to collect him.
Now making its approach, bearing 113.
Warship, this is Submarine, it's channel 74, over. Surface Submarine.
Surfing now. 115, cool, happy.
Just trying to work out if it's going to be calm enough to get the man off. We need to get the rib alongside to judge precisely whether it's achievable or not, but maybe.
Jim Dent is worried about the rough sea.
The burn being to his hands means that he doesn't have full control as he goes down into the boat, so it's not looking good at the moment, I don't think.
Done by Queso, we're just coming left. I've just been open.
Clipped on.
Don't fight it when it happens.
Despite the weather, they decide to go for it.
So take position on the ladder when you're ready. And then the boat will come in.
There you go, wait there, hold there, back up one.
With only one good hand, Jake must climb down and time a backwards jump into the speedboat.
Captain's coming up now. No, back. We've just come up in speed.
So one more.
You want team?
Now he's safely on board. Bellamy will be back in a British hospital in the next 24 hours.
Bellamy, you alright? Right guys, let's get ourselves in, let's get the ladder in, let's get done.
Foxtrot A1, this is Surface Submarine. That's boat transfer now complete. Thank you for the excellent handling of your sea boat there. I'm not sure we could have done it with not such a good crew over. So every time you put men on the case in, it gets your heart rate up. It's a risky thing to do, but it was well handled today. So I think the success of this is born down to that. But we need to get back underwater now.
Every moment Trenchant spends on the surface, she risks being seen by spy satellites or enemy radars.
Cheer there, Captain speaking. End of operation by the submarine.
All on the base. Down. I have control of the submarine.
Once underwater, Trenchant can resume her journey into the North Atlantic, hoping she hasn't been spotted.
Diving now, diving now.
Steam.
It's Saturday night.
There we go. Bing bong.
HMS Trenchant has 2 day chefs and 1 night chef who produce meals around the clock.
Tasting all right. I reckon Gordon Ramsay would be proud. Learned from the best, haven't we?
The galley is one of the busiest places on the boat, and the hottest.
We're used to bumping into each other a lot. No privacy. Everybody knows all your comings and goings.
Chef Louis Smith is preparing the crew's favourite weekly meal.
So tonight we've got the fillet steak, we've got a southern fried chicken, sweet corn, peas, onion rings, chips, and then a cheese board for dessert. And later on tonight the lads will probably have an ice cream.
All going well?
All going well, boss. All going well.
Logistics officer Andy is in overall charge of the galley.
On Wednesday, they'll have cheesy wham bams. Friday, fish and chips. Saturday, they have their steak night. It's a bit like being in a really weird underwater boarding school. It's just great fun.
Everyone gets involved, as you can see.
Chicken and chips.
The queue for steak night stretches right down the length of the submarine.
It's like a zoo in here. There's nowhere to sit, there's music on, and people are just doing their own thing.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
Steak and chips.
We kind of make the decision to save a little bit of money during the week because we only get a certain amount of money to feed the guys. So we use some slightly cheaper menu options over the course of the week, such that we can throw a little bit more of the catering budget towards steak night. And yeah, it's good for morale purposes, not necessarily for away signs.
Very much.
If you're on any submarine, the unique conditions in which we live creates a very tight-knit community. Real band of brothers. That is the best part of the job.
At the end of the night, they'll bring through a little bucket full of slop, which they haven't eaten, and if that's not very full, you know you've done a good job.
No bits of steak in there, so we're all right.
So yeah, everything went well tonight, quite successful. Worst part of the night though, cleaning down. Gone from a full chef to a dish pig. Well, the job done.
Turn the fan on, check if it works. We've not done that yet.
There's a problem on 2 deck.
Send the oranges first, please.
One of Trenchant's 2 fridges has just broken down.
We've got a slight leak in the fridge. So the idea is to basically get the refrigerant out of the fridge and then use that to ventilate it out.
To stop poisonous gas from the fridge contaminating the air supply, it's being pumped out of the boat.
Milk is probably the priority.
Milk, definitely.
At least half of the fresh provisions will soon start to go off, which is a headache for Andy.
Fresh fruit, fresh milk.
Do you know what? I think it'd almost be worth getting the apples out of the messes when we bring it down.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That makes sense.
Weeks' worth of fresh supplies need to be eaten as quickly as possible.
Here we go, lads. Nice bit of fresh fruit.
Oh, and salad, boy. Great.
Yes, please, all the fresh.
They must now find a way to stretch the remaining supplies.
Still got loads of dry tins and stuff like that in the fridge, haven't we? So.
Yeah. Heaven forbid they have to have UHT with their cereal. We embarked a significant amount of dry provisions. This will give us the endurance to stay out and sail even without a fridge. In the worst case scenario, we will not have fresh food. We will have pouch meats and tinned vegetables, which I'm sure will be delightful.
With no way to replenish supplies, the crew must ration what they have left.
We've got a very creative team of chefs on board at the moment, so they've managed to adapt and overcome with the challenges we faced. Or character building, I suppose.
Yeah. So you're happy with that then, boss?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Happy days.
I think the biggest things that impact morale in submarine is food.
News about the problem with the supplies quickly reaches the crew.
We got onto less food, potentially onto ration packs. They are not great, but it's better than not eating.
It's going to be tough, really, and you just got to laugh it off.
Honestly, a bit annoyed. But you've got to remain flexible. It's one of the key things with the Navy. Sergeant, Captain. Morning, fellas. Relax, please.
After 4 days at sea,
Well done for getting here.
HMS Trenchant has arrived at a classified location in the North Atlantic. The Trident submarine carrying Britain's nuclear deterrent is on patrol close by. And the captain has just received intelligence about a potentially serious threat to Trident.
Right, fellas.
We've been tasked to go and find an enemy submarine that we believe to be in the area. We don't know exactly where they are, but we need to find them and protect Trident.
The submarine they'll be hunting for has been identified as Russian. And they'll need to find it before it finds Trident.
Good morning, sir. Intelligence brief. So, 24 to 48 hour look ahead, sir. Saw on the signal that you'd highlight those areas and expect deterioration of conditions.
Lieutenant James McNair needs to work out the best way to begin the hunt.
Getting the upper hand, we should position ourselves to south and transiting to mask our signature against the general background and get noise. Yeah.
The crew have less than 12 hours to prepare.
That means you need to be on the top of your game. It will be a stressful time for almost all the ship's company. You won't get a lot of sleep, but you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't capable of doing it.
Keeping Britain's nuclear deterrent safe from the Russians is now the focus of Trenchant's mission.
Questions? That's it. Thank you.
This is the most important tasking that we ever do. This is it now. No mistakes.
%90 of this is planning and 10% is actually carrying out the plan.
The exact position of the Russian submarine is still unclear.
We exist for one reason only, and that's defending the nuclear deterrent. The best asset to use against another submarine is a submarine.
Intelligence has just revealed the Russians' last known position.
We don't know what course they're doing, but they could be doing a maximum of 30 knots, for instance. It then creates this circle. All this is doing is saying, in this region here, that's where they could be operating at that speed. So you're looking at anywhere within about 105 miles at this time. So that gives us an idea of where we can start searching, but she could be up here, or she could be down here.
A search area of just over 100 miles puts the Russians firmly in the range of trenchant sonar.
Find the right page. I'm just doing some research and typing things up so that we can get ready.
Joe Monty is about to start his next shift on the sonar. He's reading up on the Russian submarine.
We want to be better than our enemies, we want to be better than Russia, we want to try and find her, get as much information on her as possible. It's just about getting into the books, learning what type of submarine she is, what her speed is, things that we can work out so we can get the best advantage over her. The unit of interest is a Russian submarine, and that carries 28 torpedo weapons on board. And we know what machinery she has. We know that she's very, very quiet and she's a very capable unit. It does show how big the submarine is. She's pretty much like almost double the size of us, which is quite scary to imagine, to be honest.
Finding the Russian submarine rests solely on Joe and the sonar team.
This is exactly the reason why I signed up. Listening to the waters and listening, trying to find the submarine. I want to be the first to find it. There's a lot riding on it for me.
With the Russian submarine somewhere out there, all eyes are on the sonar room. HMS Trenchant is deep under the North Atlantic, 1,000 miles from land.
It's quiet out there. It is.
Intelligence has suggested there is a Russian submarine in the area. But so far, there's no sign.
Okay, we need to wait for our opportunity.
Hi, sir. Sorry, Captain, sir. It says that
Ship control, just ballasting a ton and a half.
I was already ballasting.
Cool, happy.
The captain slows Trenchant's engines right down to give Joe and the sonar team the best chance to detect the faintest sounds.
You'll see an ever-growing number of people staring longingly into the sonar screen. It's all about everybody being ready, lots of coiled springs, ready to react.
Bearing like it's tense at the minute. It's just a case of, you know, playing a long game and trying to find it. We've got a new one here.
all I do now is I just do a left to right then.
Roger. That's a new one there, I reckon. Bearing 081.
Contact.
Joe can hear something moving. It's below the surface, 12 kilometres away.
That is loud. Got new flank contact. Bearing 231, fin over contact.
It's exactly the kind of sound he's been trained to expect from a Russian submarine.
Port side contact. Port side contact.
And it's coming nearer.
Standby classification.
All eyes are on Joe to make the right call.
Start getting the fire back! Where's everyone?
Go and get your taxis out.
Somebody help me get dressed.
A fire alarm's been triggered in the engine room, close to the submarine's nuclear reactor compartment.
Don't go down, see us. Sit up. Fire, fire, fire!
I need some help over here!
A fire in this area threatens the entire submarine.
Keep looking for that. Guys, hold it! Fire's out, Roger!
Now the crew must find out what damage has been done.
Suffered a fire on the motor. We'll have to see if it's damage that can be repaired on board, or whether it's something that's in a position where we can't really do this at sea and will be required to go back alongside.
The engineers are worried about what they're seeing. The damage to the engine means steam, heated to over 200 degrees, is now leaking into the submarine.
Okay, it has deteriorated where heat is noticeably increasing the engine room. It's more than one single point. Right. That's what we're saying. Right, so just again, talk me through, are you still concerned? In my concerns at the moment, I believe it's too hot. It's just my feel of it. It will get worse. We're at the stage where we have to fix this. 48 hours minimum to get it repaired, to get it cooled down and repaired. We need to ask the captain to make that call.
The risk now is that the engines could fail altogether. But switching them off for repairs can only be done in port.
Okay, so this is the brief from the action HODs we've just had. So it is too hot back there, and it is only going to get worse from where it is right now. Our recommendation out of this then, sir, is we can't do nothing. So we need to fix it.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
I will speak to Commander Sen.
How's that, sir?
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, sorry.
The captain needs to decide if he can risk keeping trenchant sailing, or if the hunt for the Russian submarine must be abandoned.
This is the worst possible scenario, at possibly the worst time.
Right, separate to the brief you've got from radar.
My job is making the right decisions,
Starboard side.
and this is the most difficult decision I've had to make. The fire has clear implications, and we're now looking at a complete loss of propulsion. And then we're sat at night in the middle of the ocean. Good afternoon, Trenchant. Captain speaking.
As a result of the fire that we suffered in the engine room, we have exceeded my own risk calculus for our ability to remain at sea. I now deem it to be the right and proper thing to take the
Submarine alongside to conduct defect identification.
That is all.
With the safety of the crew in question, the captain must now hand Trident over to the protection of another Navy vessel.
Nobody, as you look around the boat, least of all me, wants to go back alongside. The period alongside is going to be frustrating. We're going to have to do everything we can to try and maintain momentum to minimise the impact of this unwelcome delay.
Next time.
We were about 6 parts per million of carbon monoxide.
Poisonous gas begins to fill the boat.
Chuck every single wrap.
Got maximum money on our sonar system, so any hint of the enemy we can find.
A Russian attack submarine enters British waters.
Possible dangerous submarine contact.
He's not attacking, he works sonar. I'm the one that's attacking.
And Trenchant gets a new captain.
Take control of the situation, or I will do it.
And don't miss that next Monday at 9. Battling rough seas in the most treacherous locations, Rob Bell sees what it takes to construct lighthouses, building the impossible, brand new Friday at 9. After the break, a man with a rare, dangerous heart condition poses a challenge for Dr. Humphrey as every second counts in Casualty 24/7 next.